It's finally here. We've got the massive blog post, the massive info dump of all the information about Warzone 2's launch, about what's happening to Warzone 1 when Warzone 2 comes out, what's going on with DMZ, what we're getting from Modern Warfare 2 with Season 1, so new multiplayer maps, new modes, new weapons, what's happening with Spec Ops, what's happening with the raids, so much information. So in this video, I'm going to break down everything that's going to be happening, when it's going to be happening, and kind of give you my reactions to all of the information that we've just found out. There's a lot, so this video could be pretty long. Please watch to the end, it helps me out a bunch. Leave a like on the video, that would be awesome too. Consider subscribing, turn your notifications on. So let's get straight into it, because we have a lot to talk about. So this is the new roadmap, and you can see, you know, our Mazra's on there, DMZ, new vehicles, new weapons, new operators, new modes, loads and loads of interesting stuff, and some stuff that maybe we didn't expect, like the new battle pass system, for example. But we'll go through each of these things kind of in detail. Now, the first important thing is that we've got the time and the date of the releases. We knew this was happening on November 16th, but Warzone 2 and Season 1 for Modern Warfare 2 are going live on November 16th, that's next Wednesday, at 10 AM PT. In the UK, that's 6 o'clock in the evening. That's an awesome time for us because it means people have finished work, people have finished school, you're going to be able to hop on with your friends. I'm going to be streaming it for sure. I'll probably start streaming from about 5 o'clock UK time, and then we're going to hop straight in there. It's so cool that there's a preload as well. So the preload on all platforms, not just PlayStation, but all platforms can preload starting from Monday at 6 o'clock in the evening. So that means I can be ready, have it all downloaded on PC, don't need to worry about having like quick downloads or anything like that, or lugging my PlayStation up. Absolutely awesome, super excited about that. So just one more time, Warzone 2 is launching on Wednesday at 6 o'clock UK time, so that'll be 7 o'clock Central European time. I can't wait for this. It's just such a perfect time for it. That is going to be an insane evening. I imagine we'll end up going all night on this. So let's start talking about Warzone 2. And in this blog post, they detail some of the things that have maybe changed from COD NEXT, some of the things that we have heard about in like leaks and rumors and stuff, but now we get some confirmation. So Al Mazrah is the home of Warzone 2, and it says it's got 18 major points of interest, and then it says, and you're also going to play on it in the new DMZ experience. I heard some people saying maybe there'll be a different map for DMZ. There isn't. One thing that I think is interesting is a couple of places on this blog post, they actually talk about Al Mazrah as just being like the first location in Warzone 2. Now, while it's kind of obvious that at some point we will get more maps, the wording of it makes me think we're not going to be waiting too long for this, that maybe we're going to get more maps in this version of Warzone than we did in Warzone 1. It says, ready for a new era, masses of new gameplay innovations, blah, blah. But also, this is one thing that kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect to be getting this at launch. Third-person playlists coming in season. So not launch, I guess, but in the launch season. Third-person playlists in Warzone 2. So there is going to be third-person gameplay in it. That's kind of interesting. I know when Super People launched, loads of people were excited about the fact you could play that in third person. Loads of people love playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in third person. Fortnite obviously is in third person. So I think there's a lot of people who maybe were put off Warzone because it was first person that are going to really enjoy that. Probably not for me, but I'll definitely give it a try because, you know, why not? So welcome to Al Mazrah. I love this screenshot, by the way. I just think it's very, very cool, and you can see locations down there and everything. So Al Mazrah in the United Republic of Wadout is your first battleground, and again, notice it says first battleground. We're going to have quite a few of these battlegrounds, I think, at some point. So it's saying there, obviously, some of the multiplayer maps are already in this, like Zarqwa Hydroelectric, Embassy, Fortress, Torak, Sarif Bay, and Saeed. You know, I've talked about that a little bit, and we've already had a quick look around the new map using the spectator mode about it. It says, first of all, now we're going to get into the innovations behind it. So it says, Call of Duty Warzone 2 is ready to make its impact as a rebuilt, free-to-play, free-for-everyone take on Battle Royale. Rebuilt is a really important word there, and it's one of the things that I think I've lost sight of over the last few weeks, is that Warzone 1 wasn't designed really, like the engine and everything, wasn't designed for Battle Royale. It was something that was kind of cobbled together from what the engine could do for things like Ground War, a bit of an experiment, and obviously it paid off massively for them. They've talked quite a lot in the past about the idea that Warzone 2 has had the engine designed around it. Like the Modern Warfare 2 engine has been built with, or adapted, I guess, from the Modern Warfare 2019 engine, but adapted with Warzone in mind. So hopefully that means a lot of things might work a bit better. Maybe it's capable of a lot more. You know, with Warzone 1, I was always saying, there's no way we're getting proper live events like we do in Fortnite. There's no way we're getting massive dynamic map changes or anything like that, because the engine just couldn't do it. So you kind of knew the limits of it back then. Now, we don't really know what this engine can do. Like, we don't know what they've built specifically for Warzone and what it's going to be capable of. And that's really, really exciting. So it says that before Season 1 launch, an entire blog will be dedicated to diving deeper into new features and mechanics that have been updated since COD NEXT. So there is going to be another blog post, and of course I'll cover that when it comes out. But there's quite a lot of information in this one. And this is really interesting straight away, that you've got this like crane. I don't know if it's like a skyhook, if that's attached to a helicopter. It looks like a proper crane, you know, like an arm crane, dropping a crate onto the back of a Jeep. So loadouts are not leaving. Now, this is something that seems like it's changed a lot from what they said at COD NEXT. You know, after COD NEXT, they did a blog saying, yep, loadouts, you're just going to be buying weapons at buy stations, or you can do strongholds where you can get things so you can buy a free loadout. This seems like we're definitely keeping them in Warzone 2. To me, this is kind of disappointing. I think it means that we're going to go back to the idea of everyone having their loadout, everyone having the best meta weapons, all of that stuff, which kind of means that the meta dominates everything and everyone's using the same guns at times. Hopefully it won't come to that, but that's kind of what I'm worried about at the moment. So it says, similar to the original Call of Duty Warzone, loadouts play a large role in what makes this game unique, and in this new era, players will have quicker access to their loadout's primary benefit, the primary weapon. There's 3 ways to earn loadout, or at least the prime weapon. Now, I like this idea. If the loadouts were like restricted to just your primary weapon, I think that would be a good move, because at the moment in Warzone 1, you can, within 5 minutes of the game, generally, you can end up getting both of the best weapons. You know, you can fill out your loadout, you can get a sniper rifle then an SMG, or you can have an assault rifle and, you know, whatever else you want straight away. If it was just one weapon, that makes for more interesting choices. You know, maybe you're not going to pick an LMG or a sniper because you don't have that support weapon necessarily. That might make it a bit more interesting. So it says you can get shops, so you can use in-match cash at the shops to purchase their primary weapon from their created loadouts. So you create your loadouts, and then whatever you've set as your first weapon, you can buy that gun from shops. And that's something we saw at COD NEXT. It looked like they were quite expensive. I hope they keep it that way, but the fact that they're talking about making it quicker to get your primary weapon kind of makes me think it's not. It makes me think that maybe everyone's just going to drop in, get a little bit of cash, go buy their primary weapon, and everyone's going to be using their primary weapon. That would kind of suck in my mind, but, you know, willing to give it a go as always. Loadout drop public event. Loadout drops will drop into Al Mazrah in the middle of Battle Royale matches. However, these are not limited or assigned to individual squads, but instead can be accessed by any players. This is a massive change to Warzone. Like, this is super exciting to me. The idea that loadouts are going to drop, just like they did in Warzone 1, but it's not your loadout that's dropping, it's just there are loadouts dropping. I don't know how many there are going to be. I don't know if there's going to be enough for like one for each squad. Imagine if it's just like there's 3 loadouts dropping, and so that means that you're going to be fighting over it, like you do with the cash supply drops and stuff like that in Warzone 1. That could be super, super exciting. So I think that's a good move, that not everyone's going to be grabbing their loadout from a free event. And then the next one is strongholds and black sites. Players can also earn their loadout in early game as a reward for clearing a stronghold or a black site. So that might encourage people to go and drop on these strongholds or black sites where you're going to be fighting AI, and then you get your whole loadout, it sounds like. Rather than just getting a gun, like I think they said before, now you get your whole loadout if you do that. So it might kind of encourage a little bit of kind of strategy of people fighting over strongholds and stuff like that at the beginning. I like that because it means there'll be a bit of a variety. Maybe the beginning of matches you'll often be fighting AI, and then towards the end of matches obviously you'll be fighting players, or you can choose to just fight players and buy the stuff you want. Going to be interesting to see if that does add a bit of variety to it. And then it says additionally in-match cash can be used to purchase your primary weapon from created loadouts, which I think is just that. I don't know why they say that again. Looting mechanics are kind of changing, but they're not like they were in COD NEXT. So it says, there's a new backpack system fully integrated with DMZ and streamlined for Battle Royale. So in Battle Royale, like in previous Warzone, when you open a supply box now, it's not going to be like it was in COD NEXT where a big menu comes up. Instead, you open it up and all the items will just spew out on the floor, just like they do in Warzone 1. But if you open a different loot container, like a duffel bag, which is what enemies drop when they die, or a medical case, that will have that loot menu. So you won't be able to very, very quickly grab something off someone that you've killed, except for their primary weapon. So their primary weapon will drop on the ground, whatever they had in their hands, I guess, or maybe it will just be whatever's in that first weapon slot. But everything else is in a backpack, like, you know, think games like Apex or PUBG, I think, does it like that. So then there's a bit of risk reward about, like, do you want to take the time to open up their inventory and have a search search through for stuff, or do you want to just keep on fighting? So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how that works. I know lots of people who played it at COD NEXT didn't like that menu, and the UI for the launch game for Modern Warfare 2 wasn't great. We'll see how that goes. Maybe people will like it. Then we go on to the new Gulag. This doesn't seem like it's changed that much from COD NEXT. So it says there the Gulag will still be a 2v2 environment where randomly paired duos must coordinate to take down their opposition. I kind of like this. I love gunfight in Modern Warfare like 2019. I like the idea of you being matched up with a random person. Obviously it means sometimes you'll lose because your teammate's an idiot, but imagine if your teammate's an idiot and then you still pull off the win. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So I think that could be really good fun. It says all players receive a predefined loadout, just like you do in a Gulag anyway. At launch, this will be a pistol or a shotgun, a lethal grenade and a tactical grenade. So you start with a pistol or shotgun. I think at COD NEXT they started with nothing and had to even find a pistol. But you do start with something, at least in this. But you can go into the map center and pick up more powerful weapons if you want. The Gulag will also include the Jailer, who will appear in the middle of the match to help speed up combat. Defeating the Jailer will return all 4 Gulag prisoners back into Battle Royale. And this is something I thought they said at COD NEXT, and everyone said I'd heard it wrong. But I'm so glad I've been validated with this. If you kill the Jailer, everyone can get out. So if you choose to go and fight the Jailer, and the Jailer's going to be tough, going to be difficult, if everyone fights the Jailer, everyone gets out on both teams. Like, that's super exciting. That's really interesting. That isn't how it worked at COD NEXT, but I think they said, like, the presenters talked about it a little bit. That sounds really interesting. So it's like, do you quickly try and take out the other duo to get out that way, or do you just wait and all 4 of you pick up some decent guns and take on the Jailer? I think that's a super interesting mechanic, and it's going to make Gulags a lot more interesting. Like, at the moment, when I'm watching streams or I'm playing and, streaming the game, the Gulag isn't often the most interesting part of that stream. It's just something where it's like, if you're watching really good players, they generally just win and get out and then carry on. If you're like playing, sometimes if you lose, it can feel a bit annoying because it's just a little bit random. Someone just chooses to watch the angle that you happen to be approaching at, whatever. It never seems that interesting to me. This seems like it will be super interesting, and there'll be some like interesting stories coming out from it. What if like your teammate's dead, the other 2 people are closing in on you, but then you manage to kill the Jailer, and then all of you get out. I wonder if even the person who's dead gets out. That's going to be interesting. Like, if you die, but then the Jailer gets killed, everyone gets out. That'll be interesting. So I'm really excited about that. I think that's a really positive change. I'm interested. And it says there also, instead of a traditional overtime mechanic, if neither team nor the Jailer is eliminated after a brief period of time, everyone loses. So there's no flag thing in the middle like there used to be or anything like that. If you don't fight each other and you don't fight the Jailer, everybody loses. So really interesting decision making there. I like it. Now, AI combatants in Battle Royale. Now they're only at Stronghold's Black Sites and a Gulag overtime. So the Gulag is just one of 3 places where players can fight AI combatants, as they will be restricted to guard specific locations. So in COD NEXT, there was AI everywhere, just in buildings, just like wandering around. I thought that kind of made early game looting a little bit more interesting, but the AI did seem super stupid. They didn't really react, and obviously it gives your position away. Now they're just going to be at strongholds and black sites, which are marked on your attack map. So if you want to fight AI, you can go to those places. If you don't, you don't need to. I think this is a little bit less interesting. It's basically like the AI was in Warzone 1, where, in Warzone 1, there was AI. If you went into the bunkers, sometimes there was. They had them around factory for a while. They had the sort of doomsday device thing where you could choose to fight them. It seems like it'll be a bit more like that. It says, with the strongholds, several strongholds will be activated around the map. Squads can visit these areas to fight AI combatants. When it says several strongholds will be activated, I'm not sure if that means maybe there's like 8 strongholds and only 4 of them will be activated each game or something like that. I'm not sure. Successive teams must eliminate a specific number of defenders and will earn their custom loadout, but not a black site key. If you're the first team to complete a stronghold, you must disarm a bomb, and then you will earn a key to the black site as well as your custom loadout. So that's kind of interesting. So if you're the first team to complete a stronghold, you'll get a black site key and your loadout. After that, you'll just have to go and fight some waves of enemies, but then you can still earn your loadout. So it's not like one team can earn their stronghold loadout. it will keep on working throughout the match while it's in the circles. Black sites are a far more dangerous form of strongholds, but they offer a permanent weapon blueprint reward and even more valuable in-match items for those who clear it out. So these sound almost like the sort of mechanics that we had with Easter eggs in the past, like Bunker 11 and stuff, but mixed with the AI combatants and having to do strongholds. So to do a black site, you're going to have to drop in, complete a stronghold first. You've got to be the first team to complete a stronghold. That will give you a black site key, and then you can take that to a black site, fight even harder AI in there, but if you complete it, you'll get a permanent weapon blueprint, as well as probably something, you know, like Foresight or Juggernaut suit or something like that, something cool. So that sounds super cool to me. That sounds really interesting. Sounds like a fun thing to do. Definitely what I'm going to be trying to do on the first day, like trying to complete one of these black sites to see what those weapon blueprints are. I'm not sure if it's like there'll be one weapon blueprint per black site or how it's going to work. Maybe it'll rotate, but that sounds super cool. So I'm definitely going to be trying that. I think it's kind of a shame that the AI isn't taking a bigger role in the games, but I get that lots of people who played it didn't like it. And to be honest, AI in Invasion in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer isn't that great, so I don't care about it too much that it's gone. So additional new features, aquatic combat, new vehicles, fuel mechanic, and more. So some other things are the same as what they were at COD NEXT. So like the circle collapse. Now when the circle starts shrinking in, it actually splits up to 3. It says up to 3, so it sounds like maybe it won't always be 3, maybe it'll just be 1, maybe it'll be 2, maybe it'll be 3, and then those ones close in, and then when they start closing in, they actually move back together. I think that's really interesting. That's very cool. So you could win your circle and, you know, loot everyone in relative safety because no one's in there, and it actually tells you on the UI how many players are left in that circle, and then when it collapses in together, you're then going to have to fight other squads that have done the same thing and are all sort of ready. Proximity chat is happening, so in-game chatter can be picked up by other squads. That's going to be kind of interesting. I think for content creators, they could have a lot of fun with that. Obviously kind of worried about how toxic people will be with it, but I'll probably have it turned off, I imagine. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll end up being fun. Assimilation says in squad-based DMZ modes, as well as special Battle Royale playlists, you have the choice to join up with enemy operators and form a larger squad. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be a thing in the UI, like an official thing, where you can actually choose to play with other people and say, okay, we're going to make an alliance, we're going to work on this mission together. That sounds kind of interesting, and that's cool. And then there's this thing that I didn't know about. I feel like maybe we've heard talk of it, but I hadn't paid attention to it before. Interrogation. In squad-based modes, you can reveal enemy locations by successfully shaking down player-controlled enemies while they're downed. So if a player's downed, you can go up to them, and instead of doing a finishing move, you'll do an interrogation on them, and it'll show you where everybody else is in that squad. That's very cool. The heavy chopper and the Hummer are coming to it. So there's 2 new vehicles. The heavy chopper is a thing that we've seen in Ground War where you can walk around inside it. Very cool. Use it as like a sniping platform. Whatever you want to do with it. That sounds awesome. And then there's also this electric Humvee, which doesn't have fuel. And then there's also the ATV, the UTV, which is just the Jeep type thing. Hatchback, which doesn't have any armor, an SUV, which is the big 4v4 thing. Oh, is the UTV not that? Oh, is the UTV the buggy maybe actually? The Hummer, which is the electric truck, which is sponsored by GMC, which is very weird to me. The cargo truck, the light helicopter, the heavy helicopter, the little boat, the rib boat, then the armored patrol boat, which is the one that has the big guns on the front and back, which aren't as powerful as they were in the beta. Then vehicle fuel. All of the vehicles use fuel over time, even the electric vehicle now. I thought that they'd said that one doesn't use any fuel, but apparently it does. And when they run out, then that's done. Now it's interesting, it says vehicles can be refilled either with gas cans found around the map. This was a thing that I think, like, you can do it in Fortnite, can't you? You can pick up gas canisters and refill vehicles. Or at gas stations. What about the electric vehicles? Do you refill that with petrol canisters? That'd be weird, but I don't know. We'll see. Gas stations can also repair body damage and tires, which is awesome. So you can fix your vehicle if it's like nearly damaged. You know, if a cargo truck ends up being a really good thing like the Big Bertha was in Warzone 1, you can actually fix them up at petrol stations, which is really cool. And there's quite a lot of petrol stations around the map. It looks like there's about 5 or 6 of them at least that I've seen, so that's kind of cool. And also, if you lose a tire, you can actually get out and fix that tire, which I think is a very cool move. That could lead to some interesting situations. Aquatic combat, obviously there's going to be boats and there's going to be swimming, and when you're swimming, you know, you've already seen this in multiplayer on the hydroelectric, the Zarqwa hydroelectric map, that you can shoot with the sidearms, you can use melee weapons, you can use throwing knives. That's kind of interesting. And then the shops are back with all the same kind of stuff as what you could buy before, like kill streaks and armor plates, but it says that you can only have a limited quantity of them in each shop. So it's like a shop can run out of armor plates or can run out of kill streaks, and that sounds kind of interesting. Now, DMZ is obviously a big thing lots of people have been excited about. I've kind of been a bit skeptical of it the whole time because they haven't been pushing it, like they haven't been detailing it, and it seems like they're still not detailing it too much. So they're saying there's going to be a blog post about that probably at the beginning of next week, but it says it's got in Warzone modes you've got Battle Royale, solos, duos, trios and quads, and then you've got DMZ, and it's an open world narrative focused extraction mode where operator squads have free reign to complete faction based missions, take on additional side objectives, engage with enemy operators or AI combatants, and search for valuable items while fighting to survive towards exfiltration. Now, it doesn't say anything about there being like an economy or there being an inventory system like Tarkov or something like that, so I still think this is going to be pretty limited, but people are going to be playing it like in a couple of hours from when I'm recording this video, so hopefully we'll get to find out a bit more about it tonight. Then later in the season we're going to get the third person playlist that I talked about earlier as well. Now we can go on and talk about Warzone Caldera. So this is what's happening to Warzone 1, and it's exactly as bad as people feared, unfortunately. So Warzone 1 is going to go offline about 2 hours before Warzone 2 launches. So Warzone 1 will cease functioning, so you can't play Warzone 1 up until Warzone 2 goes on. Then Warzone 2 is going to launch, and Warzone 1 still isn't going to be there. So you're not going to be able to play it at all on any maps or anything like that. Then around November 28th, and it says approximately because they're going to have a break Thanksgiving and stuff. So November 28th, so we're talking, what, 12 days after the launch of Warzone 2. Then Warzone 1 is going to come back as Warzone Caldera. And apparently anyone who has played Warzone 1 will get a few items to use in Warzone 2, which I don't know what that's going to be. Probably some skins or something. I don't know. Hopefully it's not like a rose skin or something. That would be upsetting. But yeah, so Warzone Caldera is coming back. And Warzone Caldera, it says it'll have all of the original stuff that Warzone 1 had, so all of your blueprints will still work, all of your skins and stuff, but it only has Caldera as the map, so no more Rebirth, no more Fortune's Keep, which means from the 16th of November, there is no small maps in Warzone at all. Now, it does say there, like, due to a combination of feedback from the community, technical limitations, and a need to simplify the next and newest Warzone to create a seamless player experience, that's kind of why everything's been separated. And I think it is good that it's separated, but it seems weird that they're taking stuff away from Warzone Caldera. So it says that all of the stuff that was originally there is still in there. You can expect to access a standard Battle Royale playlist, so it sounds like you're not getting limited time modes or anything. You're not going to get any content from Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2. You're not going to be able to transfer weapon XP tokens or anything, which is kind of a shame because I feel like I've got hundreds of them in Warzone 1. There's no in-game store in Warzone Caldera, so they're not going to be selling blueprints or anything like that in Warzone Caldera, which seems really weird that, like, they're keeping it going so you can play it, but you're not going to be able to buy anything in it, which feels super strange. And it says Rebirth Find and Fortune's Keep will not be present when it becomes available to play. Sounds like, you know, they're leaving it open. They could bring it back in future. But then they say, for those fans of small Battle Royale maps, expect exciting developments in Warzone 2 during future seasons. So it's basically like, in future seasons, we will bring small maps to Warzone 2, but it doesn't sound like Rebirth and Fortune's Keep are coming back to the original. I kind of wonder why that is. Maybe it's just they want everyone to go over to Warzone 2. Maybe they're worried that people will just keep playing Rebirth because there's a lot of people that just really love Rebirth. I don't really know why they're doing this. It seems like a strange move to take the shop away so you can't spend COD points in Warzone 1 anymore. It just seems utterly bizarre to me. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. Why are they taking away Rebirth Fortune's Keep? Do you think it is just to encourage people to move over to Warzone 2? Because if you can't buy anything in Warzone 1, obviously they want everyone to play Warzone 2. And it actually makes me think at some point they might shut Warzone 1 down. But, you know, we'll see. It seems very odd. Anyway, now let's talk about Modern Warfare 2. Now, I'm going to go through this a bit quicker because I care less about it, but we'll hit some of the main features that are coming in Season 1 for Modern Warfare 2. So Shoot House and Shipment are coming back. So the two maps that we're getting season 1 are remakes. That's kind of a shame, I think. I was surprised that we're not getting Rust. I thought we'd get Rust because it's in one of Ground War maps, but apparently we're not, so that's a shame. We're getting the CDL Mosh Pit, so you can use those CDL rules if you want to. We're getting a new Special Ops mission, and then we're getting the first episode of a raid in the in season. So not a launch, but we're getting it later in season. So Shoot House and Shipment are coming back. Shoot House is there at launch, so that's going to be there on Wednesday. Loads of people really like that map, so that's good that it's coming back. Like, it looks pretty similar, slightly different color palette. This one's a lot more red, but yeah, people really like that map, so fine. I'm happy for it to come back. Shipment, I'm kind of a little bit less happy for it to come back. It's actually on a ship this time, which I noticed weirdly. If you watch my video, my tour of Al Mazrah, I actually found a ship that looked like it has Shipment on, so I think this is actually in the Warzone 2 map as well. But yeah, it's on a ship, it's Shipment, you know what it is. People are going to use it to grind out camos and stuff like that. It's fine. To me, this kind of ruined Vanguard for me, because I just ended up playing Shipment and Das Haus more than anything else, because I just wanted to grind stuff out in the most efficient way possible. But it gets super boring just playing chaotic maps all the time. So thankfully, I've already done most of the camo grind, so I feel like I don't need to do this. But yeah, Shipment is coming back sometime in the season. The CDL playlist is going to be there, fine. Special Ops is getting a new mission at launch. That's kind of cool. I thought Spec Ops was pretty good. Only 3 maps was a bit of a disappointment because there's not much to it. But if we're going to keep getting them like one every season, that's pretty cool. If we end up getting like a new Spec Ops mission every season, then a new raid mission every season, I'd be pretty happy with that. Like, that'd be a pretty good amount of content. So High Ground is the new Spec Ops mission. And it says you need to find and destroy enemy communication servers to extract 3 hard drives with enemy intel. Sounds a lot like the first Spec Ops mission. But one operator will be tasked with piloting an attack chopper to clear out dangerous landmines, while the other works with AI allies as a ground assault team to infiltrate the buildings. So this is a kind of cool Overwatch style mission. So you got one person in the attack chopper raining down fire while the other person actually infiltrates the buildings and gets stuff. That sounds like it could be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. But then more exciting, we're getting the Raid Episode 1. So it says, continuing the story of Modern Warfare 2 campaign, raids will be the ultimate challenge for trios with a mixture of stealth, all-out action, and puzzle-solving objectives. This sounds almost like it's going to be the replacement for, you know, having a zombies mode or something like that. They said, Stephanie Snowden said at COD NEXT, these were going to be 2-hour-long experiences, and so there's going to be puzzle-solving, there's going to be fighting, there's going to be stealth sections. Sounds like this could be super fun, especially if they make it kind of really difficult, so people are actually having a bit of a race to see who can finish it first. I'm really glad it's not coming the same day as Warzone 2, so when this launches, like, this can be my complete focus. Really excited about that, but that's coming sometime in the season, so sometime between now and Christmas, basically. It says there'll be a full tactical overview and additional raid intel and mid-season, so we'll wait till then. Probably, well, if this all happened in November, I guess sometime in December we're going to get that, around the 16th of December. Tier 1 playlist will be available at the start of Season 1. You can play this in customs at the moment, but we'll get the actual playlist. I know loads of people are waiting for Tier 1, or hardcore mode, I guess, to level up things like the pistols and stuff. That's going to be there. Cool for people who like that. Combat records will also arrive, so you'll finally get, I guess, leaderboards, information about, you know, how much time you've played the game, what your kill death record is, all of that kind of stuff. So that's not going to come until the beginning of Season 1. Which makes sense now because it's only next Wednesday, and it says more intel to follow, so I guess I'll do another blog post about that. So, couple of other things. It says new battle pass now with more player choice. There's a new battle pass as you choose map sectors on your way to unlock both free and premium items in whatever order you decide. So this is a new battle pass system, which I'm kind of surprised about. I hadn't heard anything about that, but across the battle pass you'll get 4 weapons and 6 operators, which is kind of interesting, and a prestige system, which I think is the same as it was before. So in the new battle pass type thing, in the old ones you just kind of have 100 levels and you work through them doing whatever you wanted, playing multiplayer, playing Warzone, playing zombies, whatever. In Season 1 we're introducing a brand new iteration of the battle pass with a host of innovations. So it says, instead of a linear stream of tiers, the battle pass takes the form of a multi-sector map. Players will unlock items using earned battle token tier skips across the map, which is themed within the current season. Each map has at least 20 sectors with 5 items in each sector, so 100 items, 100 levels. tokens can be used to unlock adjacent sectors or earn more items within an unlocked sector. Essentially, the tokens can be used to unlock specific items within the Battle Pass at your own pace. Whether it's a free new functional weapon or a cool new operator skin, you have control over what gets unlocked earlier on the road to completing it. So are you looking for a particular operator skin, weapon blueprint, or one of the new weapons? Then you pick that sector. So this sounds a little bit like what Fortnite does. With Fortnite, you have pages and you have to unlock so many things on each page to unlock the next page, but you can kind of choose what order you get the items in. Eventually you end up with all of the items. Sounds a bit like that, but it might be like, okay, do you want to go to the sectors on the left of the map and work your way through them towards unlocking the new guns, or do you want to go through the right and work towards getting the operators? Eventually you'll be level 100 and you'll have everything, but at the beginning you can kind of choose which way you want to prioritize it, which is kind of interesting. You know, having a bit more choice is cool. I think in the end it's not going to make that much difference, but that's what they're doing. Now we can focus on the weapons, which are obviously a bit more interesting. Kind of strange, it says 4 new weapons, 2 free in the battle pass, so I'm guessing the ones that aren't in the battle pass you get in season by doing challenges. So one of the battle pass weapons is the Victor sniper rifle. So we're getting a new sniper rifle. It's another 50 cal BMG ammunition. I don't actually know what BMG stands for. I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me, but it's another 50 cal sniper rifle. Fine. I'm not really sure how it's going to be different from the other one that we already have, but fine. Then there's a new SMG. Again, to me, it doesn't look particularly interesting, but this is the other Battle Pass one. It's the Bruin Ops platform. And yeah, it says it's perfect for the discerning operator who wants to customize their submachine gun. Subsonic ammo hides kill skulls from the enemy team. So apparently you'll be able to put subsonic ammo in it. Okay, fine. Neither of those two weapons looks particularly interesting to me. They don't look that different from the weapons that we already have. Then coming later on in mid-season, so these will probably have challenges, we're getting the Chimera Assault Rifle, or Chimera Assault Rifle rather, which apparently is a close quarters assault rifle. We've already got a couple of kind of close quarters assault rifles in the game already, but we're getting another one, I guess. And then we're also getting the M13B assault rifle, which obviously the M13's been around a lot. This uses a short stroke pistol system that allows for a high rate of fire and low recoil. Oh good, we're getting some low recoil assault rifles. Hopefully this won't be something, you know, where it's like, oh, this is the new Growl and it just dominates everything. Hopefully it'll be like kind of better at short range or something, but we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's kind of short and stubby, so hopefully it'll be a short range assault rifle. I really don't want to go back to having loads of long range, no recoil assault rifles like we had throughout all of Warzone 1 really. And it says there, you know, also they all come with new base camos to use across all weapons, and that's something I hadn't really thought about, that a lot of the time when these new seasons come out, I don't really care about the new weapons that much. But if each one of these has some new base camos that you can then use on any guns, they could do some really interesting stuff there, you know, have some new of those solid colors that look really cool, or have some new interesting patterns. I'm kind of more excited about those new base camos than I am about any of these guns, because they all look just kind of generic to me. I'd much rather that we were getting like the crossbow or something like that. That would have been more fun to me. Then we're getting some new operators. We're getting Zeus. The only thing that worries me about this is that the mask almost looks like we could end up getting a rose skin version of this that's all black, but we'll see how it goes. We're getting Klaus, who's apparently redacted. It says some say his scotopic vision, his natural night vision, was powerful enough to help him navigate a mile in pitch black. Again, kind of worries me that we're getting some sort of stealthy operator. I really don't want them to make an operator that you can't see in the game. I don't feel like we've got any operators like that right now, like all of them seem quite visible, but I'm always worried about it. We're getting Gaz, kind of surprising that we didn't have him at launch, but anyway, we're getting Gaz. And then you're also getting, I thought you were getting one other one, aren't you? Klaus, Gaz, Zeus. Oh, I thought we were getting one more for some reason, but oh well. Those 3 individuals. And then they talk about the fact that you're getting the footballers in there, so fine. You're getting Neymar, you're getting Messi, and then who's the other one you're getting? Neymar, oh, Pogba. So you're getting those 3 footballers. If you like football, probably exciting, I don't know. The prestige stuff has been unveiled. It seems like it's pretty similar to what it was before, but it says this year leveling up past 55 will allow you to earn a persistent prestige rank across all seasons rather than having it reset at the end of each season. So before, every time you start a new season, you'd all get put back to the beginning again and you'd change your badge, but then you just level up that so you could see how well people had done in a season. It meant at the beginning of a season you'd see people who looked like they were like level 10 or something. Sounds like that's not going to happen. Instead, you'll just keep on going. it says Season 1 includes 4 more prestige ranks, so you'll get up to 250, and then that's the level cap. So once you get to level 250, you're done for Season 1. But at the end of Season 1, it says players can continue ranking up from wherever they ended up on the prestige ranks. This allows players who may not have had enough time to level up to catch up in later seasons, while not resetting the progress of anyone. So I'm imagining we'll get up to 250 at the end of Season 1, and in Season 2, maybe the level cap will be put up to 500. So then you've got another 250 levels to work your way through. I imagine that's what's going to happen, but we'll see. Then it says there a little bit outside of that, there's the Call of Duty CDL Leagues 2023 season kicks off apparently in December. They're having a code bowl, I guess. Don't know, something like that. And then they talk about the Call of Duty endowment pack, which has been added, and then some t-shirts that they've added, and then the Vault Edition you can buy, and that is about it. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about all this? I'm really excited about seeing Warzone 2. Obviously we've got that event I'm going to watch after I upload this video. I'm kind of a little bit hesitant about DMZ. I'm not convinced it's going to be that exciting, but you know, we'll get more information about it tonight. We'll get more information about the next week. Maybe they're holding back a lot, but it really does seem to me like it's just going to be the new Plunder. Like it's not going to be some spectacular new game to sort of take over from Warzone like some people have been making out it's going to be. But let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. If you enjoyed this long look all the way through the blog post, make sure you leave a like on the video, and then I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.